Okay, new chapter, chapter 3. Now we're looking at 3.1, parallel lines and transversal. In other words, two lines that never meet, which is what parallel lines are. Transversal is a line that crosses them. So looking at the diagram, line AE and CD are parallel, and you've come up against this. You've got AC and EED are also parallel lines. Skew lines are lines that never meet. So for instance, if I'm looking at line AE, the skew line to that would be FG. A skew line doesn't meet anything else. They do not intersect and are not coplanar. Parallel planes, well, just think of my old example, which is a loaf of bread. When you take a slice out, each slice in the loaf of bread is parallel plane. So basically that's what parallel planes are. Okay, this is the table that will give you whatever extra you need as far as the vocabulary are concerned. Interior angles. So interior angles are what are inside. So for instance, angle 3, 4, 5 and 6 are interior. Exterior angles 1, 2, 7 and 8. Consecutive integer inside angles are 4 and 5 and 3 and 6. They're in a straight line, so linear in type of in as far as that's concerned. Alternate interior. This is the first time we've come up against that, and this is where you look at how things go. So for instance, if I drew that, alternate would be angle 3 and angle 5. Subsequently, angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, and we will be doing a lot more of these a bit later on. Okay. Corresponding angles, they lie on the same line. So in this case it's going to be 1 and 5. So you can have angle 1 and angle 5. They are corresponding. In other words, this guy and this guy are the same, and you can do the same with 4 and 8, 2 and 6 and 3 and 7. Okay, so let's have a look at these angles. There are, and as I say, I'll do this in class, but think of, for instance, when we did vertical angles, it was like an X, vertical. Okay, now we need to be looking at, can we think of other letters that will fit in that category that's got a pair of parallel lines or a pair of lines and a transversal? Well, let's have a look at the letter F. Okay. Well, we know that we need to organize this angle and this angle. Well, these two guys are both on this line. They are both in the same, in fact, both of these will be equal and they are corresponding. Okay, and just as vertical angles are equal, so are corresponding angles. So whatever if this was A and this was B, whatever A is, B would be the same. Okay, another one is if you've got your pair of lines and a transversal, what we're looking at now is this angle and this angle. If this was angle A again and this was angle B, these are, if you think about it, we're looking at this line now, we're looking at the transversal, and they are opposite of each other of the transversal, so they are alternate. And they are inside, so alternate interior angles. And just like the others, they too equal each other. So all three of these equal each other. Okay, then we've got the very final one, and then I'll go on to another page for that. So let's carry on from where we left off last page. Okay, what we're looking at this time is this angle here and this angle here. Okay, and what's the relationship? Well, if you look at them, they are exterior. They are both on the outside of the diagram, and just like the previous one, they are alternate. And just like all the previous ones, they equal each other. So whatever the value is of angle A, angle B is the same. These few extra sort of bits that we're going to come up against, we'll talk about letters that we can use in class, but you know, these are the things that you need to look for. So generally look for outside, alternate, you know, interior and alternate, corresponding, and vertical or opposite angles. They will be used completely all the way through this chapter. So let's have a look at a few questions. So let's have a look at question number 2. All right, it does say refer to the shape that's in the book. Well, that's basically this shape. Okay, and it asks you to find a line, a skew, a segment that is skew to TS. Well, here's T and here is S. Okay, so a line that's skewed to that, so a line that's not coplanar to S and T and will not intersect with them. All right, well, there are several, but X and V would be a good one. Okay, so if you think about this, this line will never intersect with this line here. So skew line, non-coplanar, do not intersect. So let's have a look at questions 5 and 6, 7 and 8. You're given a diagram that looks like this. Okay, and then it tells you that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and from that you can then answer the rest of the questions. So let's have a look at what the questions are asking you for. Okay, so question number 5 is asking you for what is the relationship between angle 1 and angle 8. At first look, there don't seem to be any connection at all, but the easiest connection is that they are both on the outside, which in this case is exterior, and they are opposite each other. All right, so they are alternate, so your actual answer is alternate exterior. Similarly, let's have a look at question number 6, and then I'll let you work on your own. Question 6 is the relationship between angle 2 and angle 4. Okay, well, let's have a look at angle 2 and angle 4. We go back to this transverse angle pair relations, the key concept, and which one looks like that. Well, both of these are going in this direction on this line here. So they are corresponding angles.